It is better for you to light a small candle than to spend your life cursing the darkness. Do not be saddened by your failure as long as you are trying to stand on your feet again. It is better to ask twice than to make a mistake once. The possible asked the impossible. Where do you reside? The answer was in the dreams of the incapable. A house that is devoid of books is a house without a soul. The strong is not the one who always wins the war, but the weak is the one who always loses peace. Titles are nothing but medals for fools. Great men need nothing but their names. He who loves the tree loves its branches. We do not achieve peace through war, but through understanding. If justice disappears from the earth, the existence of man loses its value. Happiness is not in doing what you always want, but in wanting what you do. The worst thing that can happen to a person is to be without work or love. Modesty is beauty in a woman and virtue in a man. Your friend is the one who tells you your mistakes, not the one who beautifies them to gain your approval. Friendship is a well that deepens the more you take from it. A smile is a kind word without letters. Do not think of what is lost so that you do not lose what is present. He who is content with little in this world will find every hardship easy. A kind word is a passport to all hearts. When arrogance increases, joy decreases. A serene conscience is the best pillow for rest. He who sows goodness reaps gratitude. A beautiful garden does not lack snakes. Life is the only thing that decreases the more it increases. Hearts are vessels, lips are their locks, and tongues are their keys. Let everyone guard the key to their secrets. Experience is the comb that life gives you when you have lost your hair. Money is a good servant, but a corrupt master. The greatness of your mind creates envy. The greatness of your heart creates friends. A minute of pain is an hour, and an hour of pleasure is a minute. There is no need to fear the sound of bullets. The bullet that kills you will not make a sound. The devil can be an angel. A dwarf can be a giant. A bat can be an eagle. And darkness can be light. But only in front of fools and simpletons. The lady stops, scolding her husband to answer the phone. Poor husband. He loved her long hair and found her tongue longer. If you want to understand a woman's truth, look at her with your eyes closed. If you have 2 loaves of bread, eat one and buy flowers with the other. To err is human. To persist in error is devilish. The strength of the chain is measured by the strength of its weakest link. People can live without air for a few minutes, without water for weeks, without food for about 2 months, but without ideas for countless years. We spend the first half of our lives searching for money, success, and fame, and the second half searching for doctors. He who buys what he doesn't need sells what he needs. When people praise someone, few believe it. When they criticize him, everyone believes it. He sleeps deeply who has nothing to fear losing. Marriage comes without prior warning, just like a drop of black ink on a person's clothes. There is no such thing as a failed man, but there is a man who started from the bottom and stayed there. Money often gets lost in the quest for money. If people stopped talking about themselves and criticizing others, the majority would suffer from muteness. The child plays with life when young, unaware that life will play with him when he is older. Our desires are like small children. The more we indulge them, the more they demand from us. Choose your words before you speak, and give enough time for them to mature, as words need time to ripen like fruits. Be wary of the generous if you insult him, of the mean if you honor him, of the wise if you embarrass him, and of the fool if you show him mercy. It is easy for people to respect you, but it is difficult to respect yourself. He feels happy who washes his face of worries, his head of distractions, and his body of pains. Every marriage officer has a long mustache and an even longer beard to hide a smirk of delight. When you reach the summit, look down at the valley to see who helped you climb it, and look up to the sky to ask God to solidify your footing.
He who lives with 2 faces dies without a face. If your enemy consults you, give him advice, for by consulting he has moved from animosity to loyalty. If you are rich, eat whenever you want. If you are poor, eat whenever you can. When someone tells you he loves you like a brother, remember Cain and Abel. Speak when you are angry, and you will say the most wonderful words you will regret for the rest of your life. Do not argue with an eloquent or a foolish person. The eloquent will defeat you and the foolish will harm you. Good character conceals many sins just as bad character hides many virtues. Marriage is give and take, he gives and she takes. A trivial man deprives you of solitude without providing a pleasant company. A little knowledge combined with action is more beneficial than a lot of knowledge with little action. Some women think marriage is the only opportunity for revenge on men. When two dogs fight over a prey, it is the wolf that benefits from their barking. In marriage there are only two beautiful days: the day you enter the cage and the day you exit it. A person is neither meat to be eaten nor skin to be worn. What is left in him is just the sweetness of his tongue. Health is what makes you feel that the day you are living is the best time of the year. If you fear loneliness, do not marry. The phone bill is the clearest proof that silence is much cheaper than speech. The poor is not the one who owns little, but the poor is the one who seeks too much. It is better for you to suffer for the truth than to be rewarded for a lie. Life would indeed seem wonderful if we were born at 80 and gradually approached 12 over the years. Generosity is not giving me what I need more than you do. Generosity is giving me what you need more than I do. If you give a poor person a fish, you have satisfied his hunger for a day, but if you teach him how to fish, you have satisfied his hunger for a lifetime. The happy dog wags its tail, the hypocrite wags his tongue. If a man decides to marry, this may be the last decision he is allowed to make. A successful person is one who closes his mouth before others close their ears and opens his ears before others open their mouths. Do not let your tongue share your eyes when criticizing others' faults. Do not forget that they, like you, have eyes and tongues. He who rides the truth conquers the creation. Firewood is not sold before it is cut, nor is fish sold in the lake. When laziness walks down the road, poverty must follow it. To die loved is better for me than to live hated. If you want to keep a friend, be a friend first. Be a good listener to be an eloquent speaker. Only the shoe knows the hole in the sock. No one throws a stone at a barren tree. It is much easier for a person to believe a lie he has heard 1,000 times than to believe a truth he has never heard before. There is nothing braver than a blind horse. Beware of the door that has many keys. If you give a fool a dagger, you become a murderer. It is not important to love. What matters is whom you love. How easy it is to be wise after the event. All the darkness in the world cannot hide the light of a shining candle. The more cultured a person is, the more miserable they become. He who sins while laughing will enter hell while weeping. It is enough to show the whip to the beaten dog. Beautiful feathers are not enough to make a beautiful bird. Only those who do not know pain mock wounds. If beauty attracts the eyes, then ethics possess the hearts. Creativity is when a person rises from the mud of failure to become an example to others. Hope creates the reasons for struggle. Yesterday is gone and will never return, while tomorrow is known only to God. It is not important for something bad to happen, but the important thing is that it should not happen again. Friendship is the only rose without thorns. He who claims he has arrived is still at the beginning of the road. The weakest person is he who cannot keep his secret. If trust exists between rulers and the ruled, both will feel reassured towards each other. The one who makes many mistakes loses his modesty. Honesty and integrity are the highest qualities a person can possess. A person without a goal is like a ship without a rudder. Both will end up on the rocks. Everyone wants to change the world around them, but no one thinks about changing themselves. If we respond to harm with harm, when will the harm end? Being a woman's first love means nothing. You should be her last love, for that is everything. Love is like a red nose. Its owner cannot hide it from view. Friendship is a treasure. Those who preserve their treasure remain rich. People do not live except through others. Do not lose anything, knowing you will not find its like again. The one who speaks first thinks second and regrets third. Friendship is mutual sacrifice. It is not important to know when to speak, but more important to know when to be silent. Friendship is a masterpiece that increases in value over time. The house that does not open to the poor opens to the doctor. The worst regret is on the day of judgment. Humility begets love, and contentment brings peace. Friendship is like water, easy to lose, hard to keep. There is no good in words unless accompanied by action. Everyone wants to change the world around them, but no one thinks about changing themselves. Half of what we dream of could have been ours if we hadn't wasted half our time dreaming. A person without a goal is like a ship without a rudder. Both will end up on the rocks. Great gifts create small romances. We wrong love when we describe it as fire. Human love does not turn to ash. Take your time choosing a lover and don't rush to abandon him. Love begins with a word and ends with a shock. Friendship is partly sacrifice. Love is mostly sacrifice, but marriage is all about sacrificing friendship and love. The woman is the one who chooses the man who will choose her. The surest sign of a woman's love for you is her imitating you. The torment of loving and the torment of not loving exist, but the greatest torment is loving without hope. Our hours in love have wings, while in separation they have claws. There are three things that should not be hidden: love, confession, and truth. Quarrels between lovers renew love. A man's love is shown in his words, while a woman's love is shown in her tears. The person who loves you is the one who makes you cry. I love you not for who you are, but for who I am when I am with you. Love is like a flame. When it goes out, it leaves a mark that never fades. A book is the most loyal friend. It does not lie or flatter. More unjust than the oppressor is the one who helps the oppressor in his oppression. The spiteful word has noise. There are 2 days we should forget, yesterday and tomorrow. God loves to see the effects of his blessings on his servant. A man's worries are many, and the greatest among them is the separation from a woman he loves. Tears of love are more beautiful if they find someone to wipe them away. 3 share similar minds: the poet, the madman, and the lover. To the world you may be just one person, but to one person you may be the world. Love is like an earthquake. It comes suddenly and frighteningly, and once the critical moment passes, you realize how lucky you were. No human can dictate orders to love. Ambition, like love, cannot tolerate competition or delay. Love, like a ship, sinks if it carries more than one. The true lover has 3 traits. He chooses his beloved's words over others, prefers his beloved's company over others, and values his beloved's approval over others. You know someone loves you when they fear losing you. There is always some madness in love, but there is always some logic in madness as well. One word frees us from all the weight and pain of life: love. Love is not blind, it allows some to see what others cannot. Trying to make someone love you is as futile as trying to stop yourself from loving someone. The love that lasts the longest is the love that does not return. The worst thing you can do to love is to deny it. You can close your eyes to avoid seeing what you do not want to see, but you cannot close your heart to what you do not want to feel. Love remains just a word until someone comes along and gives it meaning. I believe that love can only be bought with love. Every person becomes a poet when love touches their heart. It is impossible to combine love and wisdom. One of the hardest things in life is having words in your heart that you cannot say. The hardest thing in the world is to see the one you love loving someone else. The most important thing in life is to learn how to love and to allow love to enter our hearts. The brave one is not the one who admits a mistake, but the one who does not repeat it. False friendship is like a migrating bird. It leaves when the weather turns bad. He who loses his modesty loses his piety. What you gain without effort, you will lose without regret. The best deeds are those done in silence. A false friend is like counterfeit money. It is discovered only when used. If winter closes the doors of your house and icy hills surround you from all sides, wait for the coming of spring. Open your windows to the fresh air and look far. You will see flocks of birds returning to sing, and you will see the sun casting its golden rays on the branches of trees. Do not be sad if you are in distress one day. You have eased for a long time. Do not think ill of your Lord, for God is most deserving of good. Self-confidence is believing firmly in your ability to achieve your goals, God willing, despite all circumstances and challenges. Do not search for a dream that has forsaken you, but try to make your state of defeat the beginning of a new dream. Do not linger too long at the ruins, especially if bats have inhabited them and ghosts have found their way. Search for the voice of a bird sneaking behind the horizon with the light of a new morning. A man said to a wise man, "Why do you not spare words for people?" The wise man replied, "The Creator has given you 2 ears and 1 tongue so that you listen more than you speak. Do not speak more than you listen. If you do not find someone to make you happy, try to make yourself happy. Do not despair if you stumble and fall into a wide pit. You will emerge from it stronger and more resilient, and God is with the patient. Self-confidence does not come from being right all the time, but from being unafraid to be wrong. Be patient and you will attain. The blind spot is less severe than blindness. The most dangerous harm that can befall a person is their bad perception of themselves. Be yourself, for this is the first step to becoming better than yourself.